What's up, fellas?
What's up, buddy?
Am I coming through?
Not your photo or your, not your camera.
All right, there's a couple buttons. Let me start pushing them. All right, I took a Snapchat.
Took a snapshot of us. Hey, we look good.
You guys do look good. That's a good looking studio.
That is so.
Wait, something's happening over here.
What?
Something's happening. There we
are. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, man?
What's up with you? Let me do the intro. Are we good? Everything's good? He's the audiovisual guy. And then on the side, he's an orthopedic surgeon.
Oh, super cool.
But his main job is doing our podcast once a week.
The most important job.
All right, let me do this. Ready? Hey, guys. Pitmaster here. I'm here with the doc.
John, good to see you.
And we have a special guest, the gangster. I mean, the all-American gangster. Like a gangster. The serious kind of gangster. Chael Sonnen. Thanks, brother.
What's happening, everybody?
We just wanted to pick your brain about a couple things and just be educated and entertained. Both.
I'm here to help, man. I'm flattered. I'm actually very flattered by that lead-in, John. That was very nice of you.
Love your stuff. We both are big fans, and because I remember the old days. I was out at when I came out to Team Quest, and I stayed at Matt Lindland's house, and it was a scary thing because let me just say, the Team Quest guys are a little different than the Pit guys. Most of them, not except for you. And there's like 3 of them sleeping in the living room or something on his couch, and I was in a room, and I was so scared of these guys that I locked the door, and I thought I was going to get raped. So guess what? So I thought I was safe, but then I heard some noise outside, so I looked out the window. There was a fucking goat. Anyway. Nice. Who was that? I forget the name of that guy. He was a really hard hitter. I think he fought in a bunch of little shows. He had a lion tattoo, I think.
Well, we had a guy named Ryan the Lion Schultz.
Ryan. Oh yeah.
You know, and Coach, he actually went on. He won the championship. You'll remember the IFL, International Fight League.
Yeah, the team. Yeah.
Yeah, he stopped Chris Horndeski, who was like undefeated at the 19 years old little phenom, and he stopped him with a move. He reached behind his back, trapped his arm, and then came on top. And that move has forever been called the Horndeski handshake. So shout out to Ryan the Lion.
Ryan, I miss you, bro. And then there was one of my all-time favorites, Matt Horowitz.
Yep.
Who actually came out and trained with me. And I woke up at like 3 a.m. to go pee, and he was staying in my guest room, and he was wide awake, lifting dumbbells, watching Mario Sperry on a video.
That sounds right.
And I said, bro, what the hell are you doing now? He goes, oh, coach, I forgot to do my lifting weights today, so I'm just doing it now. It was like 3 a.m. But I love that guy.
I got an update. You want a Matt Horwich update?
Yes.
All right, so in the small world, okay, I'm out here in Portland. I haven't talked to Matt in forever. I run into a guy who's a police officer in California who went up in the woods, some government land up in the woods, but he had found Matt Horwich. Matt Horwich had taken over a couple of acres and had a campsite. And the cop's like, yeah, I got up there and it was a mess. And there was Matt Horwich and there was condoms everywhere. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that expression means. What do you mean there was condoms everywhere? It's like condoms everywhere. And we kept doing this, and he just kept coming back to the statement, there was condoms everywhere. So I don't know if Horwich has like boxes of condoms. I don't know if they were open. I know nothing. I just know the cop kept saying the term condoms everywhere.
Wow.
That's a Matt Horwich update for you. And you probably aren't stunned by that.
No, I'm not. He's one of the few people I actually had to slap in the face once in between rounds because I was in Hawaii cornering one of my guys, and for some reason Matt Linland called me and said, I missed my flight. I was supposed to work his corner. I'm not going to make it. Do you mind working his corner? And I knew Matt a little bit, but I never really trained him. So I said, sure. So the fight starts, and he goes in for a takedown. He just about gets the guy down, and then all of a sudden he just pulls guard. And he's trying for an omoplata. So he tries the whole round for the omoplata, and he just keeps getting punched in the face. But he wouldn't give up position. He wouldn't even try to get out. So he comes back to the corner. I go, bro, what the hell are you doing? Why didn't you take him down or at least get off the bottom? He goes, John, I'm going to get an omoplata, and I know I'm going to do it, so I'm going to try again this round. I said, please, wonderful. If you can take him down, get on top of him, and just pound him. He goes, I'm going to get that omoplata. You know, Matt. So the next round, he does it the next round. He goes in for a takedown, gets the guy almost down, and then reverses and pulls guard and tries for an omoplata for the entire round. Gets punched in the face, and he comes back to the corner. I'm like, what are you doing? Take him down. And he just looks at me and goes, John, this round for sure I'm going to get that omoplata, okay? I swear I'm going to get it. Didn't get it. He lost the decision, but that was Matt.
That's Matt. He's
and
stubborn.
You cannot love him.
Yeah, I love him too. And as people are going to hear this and think, what's wrong with him? But he makes those miracles happen.
He does.
I mean, he believes in that stuff and stays so persistent. I don't support that game plan, but I'm just saying it's not quite as crazy as it sounds. A lot of times it worked out for him.
It did work out a lot more than he had a really close fight. When Glover was coming up right when he was about to peak, he had a really close loss to him. I mean, there was a close fight.
Where did they fight? At Sport Fight?
They fought, the one that the Team Quest guys put on in Oregon. Yeah, they fought there. And then I work with Matt a lot of his fights, And one of the big ones was his Phil Baroni, their rivalry. That was one of the funniest rivalries ever. Did you see that video that Matt made about Phil?
Yes.
When he was flexing and he was doing all this, and he was he's calling him gay and this and that, and it was those guys went at it.
For that time, yes, that was about as tumultuous as it ever got. Yeah, I remember something about short shorts.
Yeah.
But
Phil
was a ton of fun.
He made a video, and that was before the big social media thing where everyone does that. But Matt Linland, who is a really, really smart and articulate guy, that video was freaking hilarious. I'm gonna find it and show it to you someday. Matt Linland was a really sharp guy, and now he's coaching the Olympic whatever the wrestling team in somewhere.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, Greco-Roman. Yeah, he's in charge. He's the highest rated coach in the country.
He is, and he's a great guy. And then I remember working with somebody. I was there when Rock Quarry. I was training the guys.
What's his name?
His name is Nate Quarry. But
Nate the Rock Quarry.
Nate the Right Quarry.
I thought it sounded like a porn name or something.
Knowing him, yeah, I would say that. He knocked out that Chris Levin guy in sparring.
Okay.
It was crazy. And I was like, he was out. So I ran over there. I said, oh, shit. All right, no more training, no more sparring for you for at least a week, man. You cannot spar. He's like, no, I'm going to go spar right now. And he tried to get back in and spar. And Matt goes, and I think it was Matt and Randy at that time. And they were like, no, John said no. He's a registered nurse. If he said you can't spar, you can't spar. He was still out of it. Those were the days.
Those were the days. I miss those days a lot. I never knew what a special team we had, and I guess none of us did. We all had to look back, but there was just so many guys that had a dream and came in there and worked really hard together and sharpened each other up and then went on and made it. I could just name drop all day long about the guys that came through Team Quest, and it was a lot of fun. Look back to those things. It's good memories. John, you brought up a moment ago that this is before social media and things like that. Well, yes, it was. It was before times. I'm holding the phone doing this interview with you right now. These phones didn't exist.
my point being, we didn't have cameras. And if I just have so many regrets. I wish I would have had a camera or brought a camera in, set it up, and just had that footage. I watched the sparring between Dan Henderson and Evan Tanner and Matt Lindland. Randy Couture, guys coming through all the time. Oscar Rico Rodriguez, BJ Penn, Don. It's just really a who's who. And we had some real special moments in there, yourself included. We had some real special moments that are now just in memory, and I wish we would have captured them.
I have no idea.
Let me just say, we have a kind of a doctor-nurse relationship going on here. That's not important. Anyway.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
That was awkward, though. But anyway, my wife thinks that James and I have some kind of sexual relationship.
I think because you say stuff like that all the time. That's the main reason.
Yeah, that might be why. Maybe because I told her we were. I don't know what. Could that be it? But anyway, okay. So we're gonna go back to where we started. Okay, where we left off. Fedor. Love that guy, but are you? I mean, that's a damn good matchup for you. You gotta admit.
Well, thanks. I haven't thought about him a whole lot.
Because he's a heavyweight you probably never had before.
That's right. See, that was one of the things. Matt fought him. Matt Lindland went over and fought him, and then Henderson fought him. Randy always wanted to fight him, and I never once thought about him because of what you just said. We were separated by too much weight. 2 different weight classes. Plus, he was fighting in Japan when I was fighting in North America. I never saw him as a potential matchup. So I am starting to focus on him. I'm watching his matches and things like that, but I don't know that I've completely formed an opinion yet.
Yeah. I think his ace in the hole is kind of similar to Matt, not Matt, but Dan is a much more multi-dimensional fighter, but his ace in the hole, his strength is his overhand right. Matt's is a right hook.
Sure.
But then again, Matt has a lot more skills in other ways, and Matt Lindland was just Matt Lindland. You gotta love him. You gotta love him.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Matt had a grittiness that you could never put into words. Analysts could sit and watch him and say he wasn't a hard striker or this or that, but Matt was going to be on you start to finish.
He
wanted to win.
He would come back to the corner. I think he always had his chew in. I actually went into say goodnight to him once, and he was staying in my guest house in my guest room, and he brushed his teeth and everything. Then he was going to go to bed, and I was like, "All right, bro, I'll see you in the morning. We're going to train in the morning." And while he on the bedside table after he brushed his teeth, he's putting in his Copenhagen to go to sleep.
Yes.
What is right? He is crazy.
I know. Yes. He still loves that damn tobacco.
He does. And when he came back to the corner, every round he'd come back to the corner, I thought it was done because he'd be he would look so. Have you ever worked his corner?
No.
Oh, he came back to the corner like drooling and spitting and like he was done. And I was like, okay, slow down, deep breaths. All right, you gotta do this. Slow down. And then he'd go back out like he wasn't even tired.
Yeah. No, he had an incredible pace. He would push. He was just a natural competitor. Yeah. Which is really hard to see on TV when you watch a guy. It's really hard to quantify that. But Matt had it, man. He had the grit.
He did. He really did. Okay, tell me about you're more of a grappler, obviously, but you have a really high level striking coach. Do you still have him?
Yes, he's here right now. I'm at my house. He flew in. He's staying with me. In fact, we're headed to a session in just a few moments. But yeah, he's a great guy. Clayton Hires. He was an all-Army boxing champion, and he doesn't talk much about his career. But if you meet guys that were around back then, they say he could have been a world champion. Yeah. What he's most proud of is he trained with Marvin Hagler.
Okay.
So he always says, he's part of Marvin Hagler's entourage and training camp. But when I talked to other guys that were around, I knew him for a number of years before I found out he beat Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather had only lost 4 fights ever in his whole life, but Clayton Hires was one of those losses.
Wow. Yeah,
he's good. He's very good.
I love
great
that
motivator
guy.
too.
I love that guy. Because we're on the All Army. Fun. We're on the All Army team, but like 2 years apart. And
oh really? I didn't know you were on the Army boxing team.
Yeah. And so we had that in common, and we met at, I think, one of your fights. And we met after the fight, and we're in the hotel lobby, and we talked for hours. I love that guy.
Was Kenny Adams the coach?
No, he was not the coach then. It was a first Sergeant Cruz.
Gotcha.
And I think we were like 2 years or 3 years apart. I forget if he was before me or I was before him. But anyway, I love that guy. So you consider yourself just a freestyle fighter now, right?
I do, yeah. Just mixed martial arts. I wrestled, when I went into fighting, I had wrestled my whole life. But I was just thinking about this the other day. I think I had wrestled for 11 years, but I've done fighting for 14. So now fighting is. I've done that longer, so I guess I'm an MMA fighter. Then I'm not a wrestler anymore.
What are some of your? I'm not really a wrestling guy at all, but what are some of your? I know all I hear about. What a great wrestler you are. You're not really. You're not talked about for your striking yet, but I'm sure you will be after you knock Fedor out with a left hook. But tell me some of your wrestling credentials.
Accomplishments. So I've really got 3 that I'm proud of. I won a couple of national championships in Greco-Roman. I was an NCAA All-American, and I was an Olympic alternate. And an Olympic alternate is not something at the time that you would brag about. It was like a devastating thing to not make the team. But in hindsight, I was proud of it. I gave it my best effort. I didn't quite get there, but I enjoyed the process.
Yeah, so that's kind of the Olympic. Yeah, the Olympic. That was the Olympics.
Yeah, for the Olympics, yeah. And I tried the same year that Matt ended up going and getting a silver medal, so I would have loved to have been on that team with him. Would have been a great experience, but there you go.
All right, so now, besides your fighting, you have other stuff going on. Tell me, are you going to become like a Tony Robbins?
No, I don't think so. No.
You have quite.
But I like to call the fights. I mean, I like to participate. It's really hard to participate in this sport unless you're in the ring, and fighting. And of course, that's something you can only do for so long. So
yeah,
I've felt very fortunate to have some of those commentating jobs and get to be part of the show and at the events. And I think that's probably what I'll do post athletic career.
Not trainer?
I don't think so. No. I've coached for many years, but just kids wrestling. I never got into coaching mixed martial arts, and I'll keep working with the kids in wrestling, but just the young guys, ages like 9 through 16 or 17. But that's all. I don't enjoy working with the adults as much. I prefer to go in and teach the basics and show the kids.
What about your when you're in front of the camera? You do a great job. You do. But you can tell that there's a part of you that wants to talk about the Brazilians thinking that the bus is a horse, but you can't. You have to. You can't do that, can you? You can't.
No, not if I'm on the clock. No, if I'm working for say ESPN or for Viacom or something, and I'm wearing the suit and getting a check. No.
Is that hard for you to? Is that hard? Because that would be kind of like. I don't know. That'd be hard, like Chuck not throwing a right hand. I mean, how do you? How do you reel that in?
It's not as fun. I would rather be out there antagonizing and infuriating, but it's not as fun. And yes, I do have to catch myself sometimes, but it's a reality. I mean, that'd be a big screw up. They're counting on you to do a certain job and deliver. And if I was out there for my own fight, I would be out there putting myself over and promoting. But when you're in that role, you're building up the other guys, and so it is kind of polar opposites.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite? I'm not gonna say shit talking. What was your favorite pre-fight shit talking?
I had a great line. I had a great line that I really liked. I was at a press conference for Anderson Silva, and this was silly. Like I thought it was a great line. I told him I said, I'm better than John Jones. I sound better than Sean Combs. And you can ask around, I'm even better than John Holmes. And it was a beautiful line. It was poetry. Nobody was doing poetry back then. Now they're all doing it, but they weren't doing it back then.
No.
I really liked that one.
That was a good one. Yeah, now, to be honest, you had it with such articulation and eloquence. And now they're just coming in and they're just taking the lowest hanging fruit and throwing fucking water bottles and shit on each other. And they're taking it to a lower end level where yours was just you were more like Muhammad Ali, where yours was like classic shit. Like the horse and the bus.
That happened.
Did that get you banned from Brazil or something?
Well, at one time, yes, at one time. And it's hard to equate, but, just how big this sport is in Brazil, right? It's soccer #1, but then MMA #2. So everybody knew. And yeah, I was hated. I went over there. I had to have personal security and bulletproof cars. And yeah, it was a scene.
Fill in the less educated here. What did you say?
Oh, I buried them. I put them down, a bunch of Brazilian fighters. This is where it all started. But I put down a bunch of Brazilian fighters because I was trying to get matches with them. Anderson Silva and Vanderlei Silva, and there might have been some more guys. The Nogueira brothers ended up in my crosshairs somehow. And so I gave them a bunch of insults, and then I later apologized for it. I said I didn't mean for them to ever see it, that I said those things on the internet, and if I had any idea that they had computers in Brazil, I wouldn't have done that. I just apologized.
Funny. That was funny as shit.
And that was really that.
That was fucking classic. It was classic.
It's a great line. It's a great line. Some people, no sense of humor. Right?
Tell him what you said about the bus. That was fucking.
Yeah, I was doing an interview. I can't remember if it was with Ariel or it was with Joe Rogan or something. And I said that I was in Las Vegas the first time the Nogueira brothers touched down, and that I saw a Big Nog went up and tried to feed a carrot to a bus because he thought it was a horse. And I mean, that was it. It was silly. They got so upset about that. The whole country, those guys got mad, but the whole country. And I'm looking back going, yeah, I did say it with anger. I said it with hostility in my eye. I looked deep in the camera. But those are playful lines. I mean, that's as G-rated as it gets. He tried to feed a carrot to a bus. I couldn't believe how upset that people got about it.
Yeah, it is. So where do you want to be in 10 years?
In 10 years, I don't know. I used to want to be president. I used to. I had a goal to be governor. Then I was going to run for the White House, but I don't think that politics are in my future anymore. I enjoyed them, but I don't know if I'll go back. And but I don't know. That's usually my answer. Somebody would usually ask me where I'll be in 10 years. I would tell them the White House.
But it's not. So where is it now?
I don't know. I have to rethink that. See, I got 2 kids now. So I'll
what are their
be
ages?
Wherever they are. Yeah, probably wrestling tournaments and martial arts events supporting my little maniac.
You think you'll just stay with the after your career's over? You think you're gonna stay with announcing and that stuff?
Well, work-wise, yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that's one of those positions. In fighting, you can go out and earn it, but you can't really earn it in commentating. Somebody has to pick you, has to go, hey, you're the guy we want to cover our event. So I consider myself very fortunate there. But if those opportunities are still around, I do enjoy them.
What are the ages of your 2 kids?
I got a little girl that's 9 months, and then I got a little maniac that lives upstairs that's 3, and he breaks at least one thing a day. His mother picked him up from school yesterday, and she was walking him right past the office, and the principal was standing there, and he looked at his mom and said, "Mom, I want to go to the park and fight." Wow. And yeah, and the principal, he doesn't know what that means. Everything is fight for him, right? You could be playing with balls. Everything we call fighting. So he wanted to go to the park and fight, and the principal overheard that one. I was very proud, though.
Yeah, thank God he doesn't make a feeding a bus a carrot line to someone. Holy, can you imagine?
He might. Give him some time.
That would be freaking unbelievable. So how much longer do you want to fight?
Yeah, I never know. I never want to put an expiration on it. I mean, I like to do it forever. I love it. I love the lifestyle. I like getting up in the morning too early and going outside and running, whether I feel like it or not. I even missed the weight cutting. I hated weight cutting, but I just like everything that goes with it. I like the social aspect and seeing the guys every day, and I don't have a whole lot of friends, so it's nice. That's kind of my social life too, is the gym. And so yeah, I have no expiration date, preset at least.
Have you ever been hurt? Because it doesn't look. I've never seen you in a fight hurt.
No, I don't think I have. I broke my sternum in a fight with Nate Marquardt. I shot in right off the bat. He kneed me right in the chest, and that hurt. But that wasn't that bad, like to rehab from. You just had to kind of do nothing for 6 weeks, and it healed itself. I've been lucky.
Did that take you out of that fight?
I can tell you, John, I can tell you for sure that my career will end the only way a fighter's career should end, which is face down and embarrassed. I will do this until I get to that point and they carry me out and say, we don't want you to do this anymore.
How old are you?
41 years young.
Yes, that's very young. Remember in boxing, it was like as soon as you hit like 27, they were done. MMA and the way you guys train and the way it's a different sport too, but mainly it's the way you train and take care of your bodies now. And it's amazing that 41 is now the prime.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, that's probably on the back end.
What's that?
His audio cut out.
Oh, your audio cut out.
Oh, I was just saying that, the Dan Hendersons and Randy Couture's that I looked up to growing up, they went into their late 40s, 46 and 47. Respectively, and I think that's a sign of success. I think for an athlete to be able to extend his career is as good as an accomplishment as anything else you can achieve.
What's your diet?
Oh, it goes in and out. At summertime's probably the healthiest time, just because we have such good produce in Oregon. We got some wonderful corn. Oh, I love it. Eat it every day. And then we've got some really great tomatoes. For dessert, we'd have these great big peaches that come out, and then usually something up. So kind of like a meat and fruits and vegetables. In the summertime, the rest of the time, I just eat pretty basic. I don't eat breakfast, and then usually like a sandwich for lunch and whatever my wife makes for dinner.
So do you intermittently fast?
Not on purpose. My whole life I've had to fast. Because I always had to make weight classes, and so it was a different level of discipline, a forced discipline. And now that I'm not forced to do it, I do find that I do not elect to do it.
Yeah. So what's
but I've only been a heavyweight for 8 months. So, I mean, my whole life I've done it, but no, I haven't done it in the last 8 months.
What's the difference between discipline and dedication?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I love the word discipline because motivation's a hard one for me. I hear coaches always talk about you got to be motivated and you got to want it. That was just never a switch that I could flip. I either felt that naturally or I didn't. But I still wanted to win, so I still understood whether I was motivated or not. I knew what time to be at practice, and I knew to not leave early, and I knew to trust in my coaches and do those things and do it a couple of times a day, and then the rest of the day was mine. So I'd have to get back to you on motivation and dedication, or rather discipline and dedication. I think they probably go hand in hand.
Okay. Tell me how you start your day with tell me about your planning system, because I was talking to Franklin Covey guys, and they said they've been hearing about your one piece of paper planning strategies and system, and they want to get with you. Tell me how you plan your day.
Oh, well, yeah, so I'll just tell you about that. If you're your own boss, and if you're in fighting, if you're in sports and you're an independent contractor, you don't answer to anybody, you are your own boss. And that could carry over to the business world or whatever, but everybody needs some kind of structure. And so I just use a piece of paper. I just write it all down ahead of time, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I pick one of those days is off. I think that people need that. I think they need a day to themselves. Again, if they're in business or they're in sport, I think everybody needs a day off. And then from there, I know when I'm fresh and I'm level-headed and I'm inspired, I know what I need to do. So I write those things down, whatever time of day it is and whatever has to be done. And then that becomes the boss. I do whatever that sheet says. And I think you need to be in the right frame of mind when you write it up. I know as the week goes on and I see, oh boy, there's a 5-mile run Wednesday at 5 a.m. And I think, why did I put that on the sheet? But there was a reason. It's the same thing when the alarm clock goes off in the morning. You roll over and hit the snooze button. Well, no, there's a reason you set that alarm in the first place. There's a reason you need it up. So I think if you just have some of those structures, they can be really important. And other people are great. They can listen to a coach, or they can listen to a boss. They can listen to a parent or a teacher. But if you do end up in a spot, and I'm kind of in one of those spots where if I wanted to take tomorrow off, there'd be nobody to tell me otherwise. So I need to have a level of discipline. And I think writing it down and putting it somewhere you see is a responsible thing to do. And I also like it, John, I also like it at the end of the week when all those boxes are checked. I save those. I save those for every single training camp. I save notes on every single workout of every single day. And I go back and look. And, you know, my mind plays tricks on me. Some athletes don't. Matt Lindland never dealt with it. Mine does. Mine second guesses myself constantly. Oh, I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have worked harder. I'll do it next time. I work really hard. I just forget. So now I write it all down. I go back to the box. If my mind plays to play tricks on me, I pull it out. I look back and say, no, I did all those things that I said I was going to do. I do deserve to win this fight.
You're one of the most well-known, famous fighters in the most in the highest. You made the highest stage, the UFC. So whatever you're doing in your boxes and your book, you could call it the boss. The boss, and that's what your planning system could be called. It could be called the boss, and it could just be a fucking. You could buy it from Walmart, like 25 cents, just a little thing, and you just write the boss. Chael Sonnen is the boss, and you could probably sell it for like $15 each.
I like that. I mean, you could call it a calendar, but yeah, the calendar's got to become the boss, man. You got to remember why you wrote those things down in the first place.
What's your biggest goal right now in the fight world?
In the fight world right now, one at a time, beat Fedor, but we're in a tournament. We're in a tournament for the Bellator Heavyweight Championship. So I guess on a broad stroke to be the Bellator Heavyweight Champion, to back off that a little bit, to beat Fedor and make it through this round, to back off that, to get through a safe and healthy training camp, and to back it off one step further, to have a great workout tonight. I got a good workout tonight. My coach Clayton is in town. I want to impress him, and one step at a time. You know, it's that old expression, how's a goldfish eat a shark? But the answer is a lot of little bites.
So I have a question from a sports medicine perspective. How has your training changed compared to, like, say, when you were 31 to now? So you don't get injured. Have you had to modify things?
No, I haven't done that, but I do find that I spend less time training. I don't like the expression train smarter, not harder. And the only reason I say I don't like, I know in theory it makes sense, but I could historically go back and look at any focus group of guys who have said that and show you the beginning of the end of their career. As soon as a guy starts saying, I'm going to train smarter and not harder, bet on the opponent. And but I have found myself as I've gotten older, I can't spend 4 hours a day in the practice room anymore. You know, I can spend about 45 minutes to an hour and 15 in the morning with the strength and conditioning, and then about an hour and 45 minutes in the evening pushing and pulling and punching on somebody. So I've had to shorten it up. But the things that I got rid of, I consider not the hard stuff. I've kept all the hard stuff. Anything intense, I still do. But some of the warming up, running in a circle with the group and the jumping jacks to get warm, I just can't spend that energy anymore. My body, it's really hard to recover. So any fat I can take off the bone, I have. But that's really the only difference that I've found. And then rest is a little bit harder or a little bit more important too. I used to take 1 day a week off, and now I find myself taking 2 here and there. So aside from the rest and recovery, I haven't personally dealt with anything.
Ever think of being doing any stand-up?
Do I do stand-up? Yes, every day.
No, but have you thought of doing some stand-up comedy?
Oh, I thought you meant the punches and the kicks.
I know you do that. That's why, yeah.
No, I don't know if I've ever considered stand-up comedy. No.
Seriously? You've never?
Yeah, but I do like to entertain. I mean, that I haven't considered doing that.
I would think that would be like right up your alley.
Perhaps, maybe someday. I'm out here in Oregon. We don't have a lot of comedy. It's not like in LA, like what Joe Rogan has. But maybe someday.
You know, my daughter has a shop right down in Hood River.
Oh, what kind?
It's a acai bowl shop.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, those are big out here.
It's called the Basic Bowl. Have you ever met my daughter, Jelly Bean?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, but I do go to Hood River, so I'll look her up. I'll definitely try. I'll try her spot.
Yeah, it's called the Basic Bowl. All right, we're gonna let you get. Where's Clay? Is he right there?
No, he's not sitting in front of me, but he is in the house somewhere.
All right, we'll let you get to training, but we appreciate you coming on. Good luck in the tournament. Good luck in your career. We're watching you. Love your stuff. Loved you on Tassel and Met's show the other day. You shine.
Oh, thanks for watching that.
Oh my
Good
God.
guys.
They are very good guys.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you. I have had it with you both.